Pakistan. It's a land of majestic mountains, deep valleys, and flowing streams. But the tranquil beauty of this South Asian country is often marred by acts of terror, such as suicide bombings.
People have started thinking that people of Pakistan are terrorists, which is untrue. 99% people are fun-loving people.
Abrar Ul-Haq, a popular Pakistani singer, is also the founder and chairman of the Youth Parliament of Pakistan. He says that the growing tide of terror and fear must be stopped before it's too late. One way to help do that, he believes, is by harnessing the power of young people, more than half of Pakistan's 180 million citizens. Giving them a voice in shaping their own futures and securing new opportunities is key, he says, to ensuring peace and prosperity. Without this, he believes, the youth are vulnerable to terrorist ideology.
Because they did not have any opportunity, they were jobless. That is one reason why they're committing suicides every day. That was one reason why they're joining the groups of terrorists and extremists.
Young Pakistanis living in poverty-stricken areas and remote tribal villages are especially at risk, Abrar says. This man, who calls himself Mujib and asked us not to reveal his real identity, was recently lured away from his family and into an extremist group. Now in his 20s, he lives in a district mired in poverty.
That group was not good. They never allowed me to leave them.
Mujib's story began one day as he set off for daily prayer at the mosque. After prayers, friends invited him to join a madrasa, a house of religious learning. Thinking that he would be studying the Quran, Mujib agreed. But it didn't take him long to realize that instead of religious teaching, he was in fact being trained to wage war.
They used to train us to handle arms and ammunition. Sword fighting, taking apart and assembling arms and ammunition.
Mujib attempted to leave after 6 months, but severing ties with the group wasn't as easy as he imagined. His trainers refused to let him go. Mujib managed to contact his father and pleaded for help, and his father says he knew exactly where to go. To Abrar Ul-Haq, the founder of the Youth Parliament. Abrar created the movement some 15 years ago at the peak of his singing career.
When I started singing, I earned a lot of money, and I wanted to buy a jet for myself.
But Abrar's dreams never materialized. Instead, marked by his mother's death, Abrar decided to put his time and money into helping humanity. First, he built a hospital in his mother's name, and it was during a fundraising campaign for the hospital that Abrar felt the power and potential of Pakistan's youth.
I found them very, very enthusiastic. They supported me in a huge way. I thought their potential could be used even better.
Inspired, he quickly set a vision for his new movement: to utilize the energy of youth to build a nation free of violence. And one of his first steps towards that was negotiating Mujib's release from the terrorists. That convinced him that he needed to work harder, teaching young people to speak out, not just against the threat of terrorism, but against all injustices and issues affecting their lives and their communities.
Youth Parliament ke platform pe
his work caught the attention of the United Nations Democracy Fund, and they are now working together to provide Pakistan's youth new opportunities and the chance to have a say in the future of their own country.
I think the spirit of democracy already prevails there. So it will automatically emerge. We're not imposing democracy on them.
In fact, they're taking their message of change and making themselves heard in ways that resonate with their generation. Through films like this one encouraging young people to assert their rights, and through songs with a message, all created by youth, for youth. And the message seems to be getting out. Tens of thousands of other young men and women have already joined the movement. Some of them are seen here protesting against months of power cuts, resulting in closed businesses and lost wages.
They'll speak about different issues, problems of their respective areas, their possible solutions. They will automatically come in the role of leadership. They will inspire so many others.
But little can change unless everyone can be empowered, and that includes Pakistan's young women. Women like 24-year-old Wada Shafiq, who joined the group with the hope that she and other young women could help usher in an era of greater gender equality.
It's a mindset of our ancestors which is not being changed and which is being fed to our parents.
Wada grew up in a rural village and says she faced obstacles growing up in a largely male-dominated society, especially when she chose to pursue her love of law.
Unfortunately, in our society, female law is unacceptable.
Many young women in villages like Wada's stay close to home rather than attend universities in big cities. And most choose to get married and raise their children. In some areas, women are even prevented from earning money. Remaining true to her convictions, Wada convinced her father to allow her to go to law school, and although she won her battle with him, she never expected what happened next.
For a whole 1 year, nobody talked to me in my family, apart from my father or my mother.
But even this couldn't deter her.
If I'll stop now, the time will never come where I would be able to stand up for my own decisions. So this is the stage where I prove to the world that I exist as an independent human being and I take my decisions, whether right or wrong.
Wada believes that only by empowering women to have a voice and to receive an education will they, like she, finally be able to define their own roles.
So youth parliament is helping in educating women, providing them a platform so that they go ahead and train the other women and address their issues.
And once again, the youth parliament is using the medium of their generation to spread her message through these televised debates where young men and women present opposing views and arguments close to those taking place in Pakistan's parliament.
Democracy is also sensitive to the needs of women at the same time.
It's a good start, but it won't stop until those trained begin to obtain real leadership positions throughout the country. Positions like that of this woman, Shagufta Sheikh, a member of the regional parliament, who believes she's making a difference in her community.
Women are working just like men in the assembly. I have completed about 70% of the work for the people of my constituency.
Proof, Shagufta says, that women have a prominent role to play in the future of Pakistan.
You cannot change the mindset of the...
It's a point Wada is embracing. Now a lawyer working for one of Pakistan's main cities, she helps women she meets at the youth parliament seek justice. Mujib, meanwhile, free from the terrorist groups, receives a stipend each month from Abrar's movement until he gets back on his feet. As for Abrar, he continues his mission to encourage young people to express their views and become the leaders of tomorrow in a society where everyone can live in peace.
Pakistan will start flourishing when youth comes in the driving seat. That is my passion, to make them leaders, to think out of box, to see what is happening in the world, and to lead this nation.